Hello, I'm Brenda Wright and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to make a gift box topper. I have made one and this is what it looks like. Isn't it beautiful? So that's the one I've already made and that's what we're going to make. It's National Pink Day, so happy National Pink Day. I'm wearing pink and I'm using pink yarn. I am working with a Pound of Love by Lion Brand, number 4 acrylic pink yarn. So the first thing we're going to do, we'll get right into it, is make a magic ring. In order to do that, you just go around your finger once, twice, so you'll have 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook. I'm using an F hook. You're gonna take your F hook underneath these two and grab your third piece and pull it through the other two. Then you're going to grab the yarn again and pull up a loop. Now you have a magic ring and a loop. And you're going to double crochet, wrap your yarn over, pull through the loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Double crochet 12 around. Okay, I'm on my last stitch and 12. That is number 12. So you should look like that. And then you're just going to take your end and pull it, and it will close the hole. Now when you go to join, you're going to join, there's 2 parts here to the stitch. There's a front and a back. You see the V right there? There's a front and a back. You're going to go into the back only. Back loop only. So we're going to slip stitch into the back loop only. And I like to count and make sure I have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you have this yarn tail. I'm just going to yarn over it as I go so I don't have to weave it in later. So we're going to slip stitch into the back loop only, chain 1, careful your stitch don't get in there, chain 1 and double crochet 2 double crochets into each double crochet around in the back loop only. Okay, I have done that, and I'm on my last 2 double crochets in the very last stitch in the back loop only. Double crochet 2 in the very last stitch, and we're going to continue this, increasing each time. Now as you can see, there's all those back loops that you went, and there's front loops, and in these front loops is where we're going to make our flower petals. So you can make it as big as you want. I've got boxes that I need to measure on the top, and that's how big I want mine to be. So this big box that I had was 6 inches, and I believe this little box is 4 inches. So we're going to do the same thing again into the very next stitch. We're going to slip stitch in the back loop only, chain 1, and then double crochet 1 into that stitch. And this time around we're going to do 1 double crochet and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and then back to 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and it's going to be 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 around. Okay, I'm on my last 2 double crochets into the back loop only. We're going to do those last 2 and then slip stitch in the back loop only to the first stitch we did, chain 1, and now you should look like this with 2 rounds In the next round, we're going to do 1 double crochet, then 1 double crochet in the next, back loop only, then 2 double crochets in the next. So the next round will be 1 1 2, 1 1 2 all the way around. Okay, I've got to my last 2, and I'm going to do the last 2 in the back loop of the very last stitch. And so now you have 3 rounds. Now I'm going to slip stitch. And this time I'm not going to go into the back loop. I'm just going to go into the entire front and back loop. Chain 1 and single crochet in each double crochet around. So now it's just a single crochet around the edge. Okay, I'm on my last 2 single crochets. And then I'm going to slip stitch and fasten off. There should be 48 stitches altogether. I think it went 12, 24, 36, 48. And this is what your finished product should look like. I'm just going to slip stitch to the first stitch and fasten off. Chain 1 and pull through and fasten off. That tail we will weave in. Okay, so now we have our circle with all our front loops, because we went in all the back loops, so all the front loops are on the front. We did the tail. So now comes the fun part with the petals. So we're going to make a slip knot, and the way I make a slip knot is I just wrap it around and then pull the tail through that what I just wrapped around and pull. And there's a little chain. And of course you can tighten it or loosen it by pulling it back. So it's very flexible. You know, you want it up close but not too tight. Alright, so on the very first little loop there, any one, it doesn't matter which one, you're going to put your yarn through, and you're going to take your yarn and pull it. So now you have 2 loops on the hook, and you're going to pull it through that slip stitch you made, so it's a slip stitch. So you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You're going to chain 3. Then you're going to double crochet. Now I'm going to go over this tail so I don't have to weave it in later. And just pull it to the right of the stitch. And you're going to do 3 double crochets in that same stitch. 1, 2, 3. And then in the next stitch, you're going to do 3 more double crochets. So go right next to the next one, which should be right next door here. And double crochet 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And then go to the next stitch and double crochet 3 more. 1. Oops, you gotta make sure you get all your strands. Remember, there's 4 strands in this yarn we're using. 1. You want all 4 of them. Sometimes they separate and you have to go back to get them all. Okay. Okay, so now that's what it looks like. So now you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn around your work. And now you're going to be working in a second row up here. You're going to skip the first chain because the chain 3 is going to be your first double crochet. And you're going to double crochet 1 in the second double crochet. Then you're going to double crochet 2 double crochets into each stitch along the top to the very last 2 stitches. And in the very last 2 stitches, you're just going to put 1 double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches. So in this middle part, you're going to double crochet 2 into each stitch. Until the very last 2 stitches. And then you're just going to double crochet 1 into the last 2 stitches, 1 each. And 1 more double. Into that. Okay, so I have 2 stitches left. I have this chain 3 and this 1 double crochet. In those last 2 stitches, I'm just going to stitch 1 double crochet into each one of them. The last was a little bit tricky to get in there, but once you're in, you're in. Okay, then you're going to chain 1 and you're going to turn it back around the other way, and you're going to go up here on this part, and you do work at the first stitch here and you single crochet. So you're going to single crochet across. There should be 16 stitches there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're going through both stitches. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And that's all there is to it. And that's what it should look like. So now the only tricky part to this whole project, we've gone over the weave end, so we're just going to cut that off because it's already tied in there. We went over it as we went along. And now what we're going to do is we're going to skip 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the 4th stitch, right here, we're going to hook our yarn. We're going to let go of this and hook our yarn in the 4th stitch. Now once it's in the 4th stitch, we can pick this loop back up, and we're just going to pull it through the stitch. And then just pull on your yarn and it'll go back down. You won't have that big hanging on there. And then you're going to do it again. So 1, 2, chain 3, double crochet 3 into the 1st stitch, 2, 3, and then go to the next stitch and double crochet 3, and the next stitch 3 again. And if you have trouble looking at finding the stitches, just pick it up. You can see it better when it's a little bit further away from you. And again, that's the first row. The second row, you're going to chain 3 and turn. You're going to double crochet the second stitch because your chain 3 acts as 1 double crochet. You're going to do 2 double crochets in each stitch across to the last 2, and in the last 2 stitches you're going to do 1 double crochet in each. And this is basically how you do the entire thing. Each row that you do will have more petals because it will be bigger. So the first round has 2 petals, 2 or 3 petals, depending. Well, we'll have to see. We're almost done here, and then we'll see if we have room for another petal. But basically, when you run out of stitches, is you can't do any more petals when you don't have any more stitches to do them in. So you would just go row by row and fasten off each row and start again on each row. Circle, I should say. Front loop circle. Okay, at the end, chain 1 and then single crochet across the top, and there should be 16 stitches. So if you don't have 16, you did something wrong, and you just take it apart and do it again. We've done that 100 times. But that's the good thing about crochet, is you can always take it apart and do it over. I mean, it's mistake proof. If you make a mistake, you just take it apart and do it over. Okay, so we're at the end, and there's only 3 stitches left, so we're not going to make another petal here. We're just going to go into the loop and do a slip stitch and fasten off. Chain 1, pull through, and fasten off. Okay, so your first, and of course we're going to tie in that end. So your first couple of petals, you're just going to, make them look however you want, but they look flowery. As you can see, they look flowery. And then you're just going to restart on the second line, go around till you can't go anymore, and then fasten it off, and then you're going to do it to the third round, do the same thing, and then fasten it off. And that's how you make your little flower petal, and you will end up with this. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you the next time.